Nico Mhlaba is now in Rosebank and he joins me now live. Nico, good morning to you. Talk to me about the reactions that you're hearing to the news this morning.
Good morning, Naledi. Yes, now we are about to speak to one of the alliance partners of the African National Congress, and of course, COSATU, an alliance partner that had very good relations with Minister Gordhan during his time as a finance minister, who was responsible for ensuring that, when it comes to the issues relating to workers, whether it's issues of their funds, pension fund, issues of their increases in the public sector, this was the man who was responsible for engaging with the sector himself, Mr. Pravin Gordhan. I'm joined now by the spokesperson of COSATU, Mr. Matthew Parks. Sir, thank you very much for your time. A very sad morning for South Africa, especially those who had engagement, the interactions with Mr. Pravin Gordhan. Definitely, COSATU had to engage with him during his time as SARS commissioner, but also his tenure as a finance minister for 2 terms. How do you feel about his legacy, and how do you describe it to an ordinary person, but also his relations with the working class in South Africa?
Good morning. Thanks. I think first we mourn his loss. It's a sad moment. We really hoped he could have had a longer time in retirement to spend time with his family, to enjoy his final chapter of life. We must also express our condolences to his family and to appreciate that he shared his journey with South Africa at large in various chapters of his life. Pravin played a huge role in South Africa's liberation. He could have enjoyed a very comfortable life, so to speak, under the dark days of apartheid. When he was a pharmacist, he chose instead to contribute to the struggle. He was active in his community, in the Durban Housing Committee. He was active in the United Democratic Front. He played a key role in MK's Operation Vula, the real MK, during the dark days of apartheid. When it became a democratic state, he played a key role in drafting our constitution in the first parliament. And of course, he played a huge role as the first commissioner of South Africa's Revenue Service. His legacy is a revenue that he was able to generate for the state by dealing with tax compliance, tax avoidance. That created the funds of state under the Mandela administrations, the Mbeki administrations, to really invest huge amounts of money in uplifting working class communities. So Pravin's legacy today is that 60% of the budget which goes towards investing in education, in health, in transport, and social grants, uplifting millions of South Africans on a daily basis.
I mean, obviously, after hearing that he was admitted in hospital, we saw South Africans being divided, on his legacy. But from the working class, would you say during his time as SARS commissioner, but also as a finance minister, he did enough for the working class, but also talk to us about his contribution and how he improved, the lives of the working class in South Africa, especially when it comes to the working conditions, but also, the issues of payments and pension funds.
Yeah. Look, we're a noisy democracy, and it's a bit sad that if you go on social media, people have a lot of terrible things to say about anything in life. We can't take this seriously. For those who know Pravin, who work close with him, ordinary South Africans will judge him well. He'll be judged by history to be a hero who played his role in the liberation, but also who played his role in building a democratic state. And when some amongst us chose to sell out the country, to commit treason, to engage in state capture, Pravin stood up and stood against it. He exposed it. When he could have simply walked away and enjoyed his retirement, when the President Ramaphosa called him to do one final tour of service, even knowing his health was not on his side, he agreed to do it. So basically he spent every last waking moment of life at service to the nation. And his role as SARS is a huge, huge role. It is one of the most critical achievements in the democratic state, where we built a very weak tax authority under the apartheid regime, and he took it and he transformed it into this world-class institution which enabled the state from Madiba till today to ensure that 27 million South Africans today receive social grants of some type, that we have free basic education across our townships with meals, that millions have received free RTP housing, that we're able to invest in NSFAS and so forth. So the legacy of Pravin to working class communities is a legacy of transformation in investment in uplifting people. That is his legacy, which will ensure not only his contribution to liberation, but also his contribution to the democratic transformation will be remembered very fondly by South Africans. No one is perfect. Pravin was not perfect. None of us are. But you never question his integrity, his principles. You never question his commitment to South Africa.
I mean, Pravin, Mr. Gordhan was not a man so popular within the political ranks outside the structures of the ANC. Talk to us about, his service politically within the structures of the ANC, but also at the broader structures of the alliances. We're talking about someone who never contested for any senior positions within the ANC. What role was he playing within the alliance partners, and how would you describe it going forward?
Look, he was a senior leader of the ANC and the South African Communist Party. He played his role in the national leadership structures of them. He played a role in the United Democratic Front, NMK, and played the role whenever the ANC deployed him in the state. He was willing to do so. Not easy tasks. And he did his best. He delivered. For COSATU, we'll always disagree with the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance must always say, no, that's the nature of the job. Even if you take somebody from COSATU to be Minister of Finance, they'll still say, no, that's the number one task they have to do. But he was engageable, he was open. He was not dogmatic. When we had the global economic crisis in 2008, and became Minister of Finance shortly thereafter, within months, he unveiled a very bold, aggressive economic stimulus package to help stabilize the economy, to minimize job losses, to help reposition the economy to recover. He was adaptable. When he was Minister of Public Enterprises, he always engaged COSATU to address workers' concerns about privatization, about job losses and so forth. People often like to demonize him, but yet today we have emerged from the dark days of load shedding to 5 months of no load shedding because of the team he led. South African Airways, which had collapsed, today is flying the African skies once again under his leadership.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parks, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That's Mr. Matthew Parks, who speaks for COSATU in Johannesburg, just giving us, Mr. Gordhan's legacy, especially when it comes to labor issues, when it comes to working with our working class here in South Africa. But he just also took us back to his time and how he laid a foundation in SARS. But very quickly, I'm joined now by the Minister of Electricity, Mr. Sputla Ramokgopa, who's just arrived here at Netlek. Very quickly, sir, very sad news. One of the stalwarts of the ANC has just passed on this morning. Talk to us about his work that he has done within the structures of the ANC.
Well, first to convey our most profuse condolences to the family during this very difficult time. Of course, also a major loss to the liberation movement, the African National Congress, his home for many years. He has contributed immensely. I mean, one of the most illustrious contributions in the struggle for liberation. And of course, my interaction with him started when he was Minister of Finance and I was the Mayor of Tshwane. We'll have regular interactions, just trying to understand the state of metro finances across the country. And of course, the head offices was in Tshwane. I was in Tshwane. The interaction with myself was much more regular and involved, just trying to help us to ensure that we are able to steer the ship and deliver services to our people. And then the next round of that relationship was when he was a Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, essentially guiding, if you like, the overall quest to ensure that municipality deliver services. And of course, the last day of the relationship in the immediate past as a Minister of Electricity, invariably we had to work very closely, but also just helping me to enter into the space, just understanding the complex of electricity, the challenges at ESCOM, and then handing over the baton. And from time to time, making those contact conversation, trying to navigate through a very difficult period. May his soul rest in peace. He has really contributed to the South African people and also the economy.
Thank you very much, Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Minister Ramokgopa there, who is very much involved now with electricity issues, as he said that he had serious interactions with the former Minister of Public Enterprises. And of course, we know that Minister Ramokgopa is now the Minister of Electricity here in South Africa, just paying his tribute. That's the latest we have for you here. We're at the Netlek Summit. We'll try to also engage other stakeholders as they arrive, just to pay tribute to Minister Pravin Gordhan.